Hello everyone and welcome back to Coin Doctor. I think it's about time that we do another video on Greek coins since we haven't done one in a bit. So this video is just going to be all about the age of the Thracian kings. Before the age of kings, Thrace was controlled by the Persian Empire. They controlled by the empires of the Diadochi, by the empires that ruled Asia Minor. They were also controlled by different magistrates. And those magistrates would strike coins based on the idea of preserving their own legacy. So if you want to learn more about that, I have included a video up on the tab bar right here that you can watch. It's really interesting, so I suggest that you watch it. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first king we have is Lysimachos. Lysimachos was one of the four Diadochian kings. So it was Ptolemy the first Soter, Seleucus the first Nicator, and Antigonus the first. And they're all generals or higher-ups of Alexander the Great's army, and they took over his empire after he died. Lysimachus is probably the most famous Thracian king. He fought against the Diadochi and against Antigonus in the Battle of Ipsus, along with Ptolemy I, Seleucus I, and Demetrius I. He allied himself with Ptolemy and took over Thrace, becoming Basileus in 306 BC. Even though he was a very famous ruler, he didn't do much after the Battle of Ipsus. There were minor conflicts with Demetrius I threatening Thrace and Seleucus I trying to take over, but besides that, Lysimachus had many allies. He was king of Thrace, Western Macedonia, and Asia Minor until he died in 281 BC. He died in the Battle of Corpedium, and his body was given to his son, Alexander. Lysimachus struck a bunch of coinage since he ruled 3 kingdoms. He is most well known for his beautiful gold staters, but his tetradrachms get a lot of recognition as well. A lot of his minor bronzes and silver counterparts don't get as much recognition and therefore aren't as valuable. For his tetradrachms, he put his own twist to the classic Alexandria design, adding the Ptolemaic Egyptian horn of Ammon and the addition of the seated Athena instead of Zeus. For Lysimachus types, there isn't as much as a difference. One major type, the legend isn't the same as other types. On this tetradrachm, which is the classic Alexandria design, it just reads Lysimachus' name, and usually you'd see Basileus Aliepsoi, which is Alexander's name, but all you see is Lysimachoi, which is Lysimachus' name. And the monograms and control marks are very abundant on this type as well. They are spread throughout the reverse and can include many such as a pentagram, a raised torch, and XOA. Now we have this type that shows Alexander and Athena, and this is the most famous type. It was the second type of tetradrachm produced by Lysimachus, and the only one produced at every mint controlled by him. The obverse of the coin shows the deified Alexander the Great wearing the horn of Ammon. The reverse is Athena holding Nike. She is seated with a shield behind her. Again, these are abundant in monograms, and these monograms are placed under the seated Athena, up in the left side of her, and under Nike. The same legend appears on this type as of the last type, and there are no control marks on this type. These were also struck posthumously after Lysimachus' death, much like the coins of Philip II and Alexander the Great. There's a common theme here that you can see, each successful king striking coinage even after their death to preserve their legacy. This design isn't necessarily rare since they are in such abundance, but they can cost a lot in high grades. So now for these types we have the lesser known kings. Right here we have Skotskos, and Skotskos was a dynast ruler who ruled at the same time as Lysimachus. Even though he struck the same types as him, the only identificator is a different legend. Skotskos controlled Ionos, which is also where his coins were minted. Before Seleucid authority established Thrace, Skotskos continued to strike Lysimachus' coinage even after his death. The period these were being struck was very chaotic, and the neighboring powers were struggling to expand and keep their empires in line. All the original great dynastic kings had died, and the successors of each dynasty were now ruling the empires expanded by their forerunners. The legend on his coins read Lysimachos Skotskos, which Basileus Lysimachos Skotsoi in Greek. The monograms are similar to the ones of Lysimachus, considering this type is still considered as an issue by him. Many people, however, believe that Skotskos took over parts of Thrace after Lysimachus died, but it isn't proven. The next king we have on the list is Kavaros. Since a lot of the Thracian kings adopted the Alexandrian type anyways, it isn't a surprise that a bunch of the coins will look similar. It is very hard to determine where each type can be placed on the timeline, so numismatic scholars have cataloged each ruler based on their monogram coinage. Each monogram is luckily different, so we can figure out which facility the coin was struck and the date the coin was from there. Kavaros was the only Gallic king of Thrace to strike tetradrachms. His capital was based off Kabaya, also a myth for most of his coinage. Kavaros meant his end in 218 BC after a revolt against the Gauls. Some of his coinage reads King Kavaros Basileus Kapaioi, or King Alexander, Basileos Aliapsoi. For when it reads King Alexander, we debase the coins purely off of their monograms and control marks. Kavaros is known for placing Artemis Phosphoros in his coinage. An Artemis monogram helps us distinguish types struck at Kabyle or during that time period. The last king on this list we have is Cottius II, and there are many other kings. I just chose these kings because they are so unpopular and no one really knows about them. I mean, I chose Lysimachus, but the other ones no one's heard about. Cottius II's father, Cottius I, didn't strike any tetradrachms, but the tetradrachms struck by Cottius II strikingly resemble those types struck at Thassos and Maronea. There is not much information about Cottius II, only that he struck a few brief coins copying other types. His coins are extremely rare, with only a few tetradrachms listed of the type. Interestingly enough, Cottius' name is written out in the legend as Kotiok. The other part of the legend reads Zakapak, which could translate to of Cottius or a seal of Cottius. Basically, the coin is preserving Cottius' legacy, which is most important at the time. So we have the wreathed head of Dionysus and the nude Heracles standing left. I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and share this to anyone who likes Greek coins. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.